10 things we wish we knew about Hawaii before we moved. So, first one is island time is real, okay? Island time is real. It's different from anywhere that we've lived. This isn't my first island by any means, but I feel like this is probably the slowest of all the islands that I've lived on. So, everything takes a little longer. I mean, everything. Your mail takes a little longer. Amazon takes a little longer. Official government docs, like when we bought our car, we didn't even get the registration to the car until months later, like literally 2.5 months later. We finally got the registration. Office and building times are kind of all over the place. Another instance was when we went to the DMV. One of the helpers, we were like, well, we looked on Google to find the time, and she was straight up like, do not trust Google. You can't use Google here. And it's so true. It is just, it's island time, and it's whenever things flow.
For sure. I think you covered it. So the next thing that is something I wish I knew before moving to Hawaii is the internet, even in the major cities, is lacking. So you may have Verizon, that what we have, we thought we'd have the best coverage everywhere. Thank goodness we have great coverage on our homestead, but don't be surprised when you go to the major cities, malls, wherever, and your phone does not have the data. It will say all 5 bars, but it still won't even let you go to YouTube, for example. So that's something I wish I knew before, for sure.
Second thing, how dark it gets at night. So you may not know, because I didn't know, but Hawaii is actually famous for stargazing. There's so many different types of lore that play into the culture and cultural mythology and all that kind of stuff. And the stars are huge, you know. Let that bus pass by. Stars are huge. They used to navigate their ocean, or navigate the ocean using the stars and everything. So it's really huge. And that means that it gets really, really dark at night. Okay. I have not ever really experienced this minimal of light pollution. It's so dark at night. And I think I've kind of mentioned it on other videos. It's so dark at night. Like you cannot even see your hand in front of your face. And it's also noticeable when you're driving. Like, I feel like I don't necessarily have 20/20 vision, but I don't wear glasses. I don't need any aids to help me see typically. But even at nighttime, I'm like 2 hands on the wheel, eyes wide open, because it's dark. And the street lights, you know, they exist, but they're kind of yellow in hue. They're just not there. It's all minimal light pollution. So it gets really, really dark.
Super dark.
So make sure if you're going to homestead anywhere rural or agricultural like we live, you want to make sure lighting is a huge, huge plus for the comfort of your homestead.
Amazing. So next, you know, I wish I had known that Hawaii off the beach is a bit more conservative than I would have expected.
Yeah.
So the beach, obviously, do you, anything goes. There are even some nude beaches here. But off the beach, like restaurants will not let you in if you're wearing, like right now I'm wearing a sports bra and a top. If I'm at certain laundromats, at certain restaurants, they'll enforce that no shirt, no shoes. And I think on the mainland, the concept of a shirt, it's like, you know, anything that covers your chest. When here they really enforce it. They're looking for that full t-shirt, and you'll see that people walking around are not wearing coconut bras and grass skirts. They're dressed very like long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, pants, baggy shorts. They're, you know, they don't bring the beach to the day-to-day businesses.
Yeah, no, we have definitely been turned away from a business or two because our outfits did not match the flow and the vibe of the establishment.
And they're not afraid to exercise their right to refuse service. So sometimes we're like, fingers crossed, they won't send us away.
Yeah. So number 3 for me would be the sheer amount of pigs. Okay. The sheer amount of pigs. There's so many. They have a very strong presence and energy on the island. It's like kind of a catch-22 because it's like they're not really dangerous, so I don't necessarily want to hurt them or anything, but they're also very much a nuisance. They're loud. They come in at night and they turn up dirt. They're eating stuff. I mean, they very much have it where I'm afraid to garden. I'm gonna do raised beds. You know, that is my what you call it until we can figure out the fencing situation. But the pigs have a very strong energy and presence on the island, and it's not bad. It's just really different. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm used to deer running around. You know, maybe an armadillo. Really, mostly deer though. So pigs is kind of like almost surreal because and also just learning about them, like I didn't know pigs traveled in packs, but there's nothing to see a group of like 15-20 pigs just walking around trying to find somebody's homestead to get some food on.
Absolutely. So my next thing is how fast your belongings will get molded if they're not stored correctly. So we definitely got another YouTuber. We got a heads up from other YouTubers that prepare for everything you value to get molded here, and we kind of chalked it up to like their certain living situation. We thought we would be safe storing our stuff indoors, covered, but as you've seen in our previous videos, all of our stuff absolutely did get molded. Well, a vast majority of them. So, and it happens fast. Like we waited maybe a couple months. I highly recommend unpacking immediately and starting your mold preparation, figure out your mold storage immediately as opposed to waiting until you feel like it.
Because the rain kind of came, it felt like out of nowhere. Like it literally was like one day people were mentioning the word drought, and then the next day hadn't known a bit of dryness since. You know what I mean? So it flips out of nowhere, and once it gets wet and stays wet, there's no way to get anything dry. I feel like for clothes you can use like a commercial dryer, but as you all know, we are off grid, so that means there is no dryer right now. I don't want that to always be the case, but for now that is very much the case. So if it's wet, it's wet. And if it's wet, it's susceptible to mold.
Exactly.
Oh, my turn. Okay, the next one was embracing more natural products. So it's like huge for everybody here who's living on the island. If you're coming to the island, if you're visiting the island, whatever you're doing, you very much need to respect the island. I do feel like part of the reason why we've gotten so much ease and joy during the transition that we did get is because we're respectful people. We're well-traveled individuals, and you know, even when we got turned away because our outfits didn't match the flow of the vibe, we did not get mad. We're not going to yell at anybody. You know what I mean? So we just give a lot of respect, and respect also means like caring for the land. Like one thing about Hawaii, it's not a dirty place. Like I feel like they even talk about like the homeless and all that stuff, but it's not dirty. There's not litter. There's not trash strewn about. The public and government places are really nice, clean facilities. You know what I mean? Obviously, if it gets busy, that gets a little shaky. But the next day, before a lot of people come, it's going to be cleaned again. It's going to look nice. So, you know, back to respecting the land. It's like before we had the 3-acre homestead, I'll be honest, I was putting anything on my face. I was washing my body with anything, didn't even care about it or think about it. And while I still use some products, there are a lot of products that I won't be repurchasing just because they're not natural enough. They're not safe enough. They're toxic chemicals that I do not want to go into our soil on our homestead. So I had to embrace the beauty of natural chemicals, natural soaps, natural skincare products, natural nail and enhancing, and natural hair and everything, natural hair care products specifically. So yeah, embracing the things that don't hurt the land, that don't hurt the animals. You know, I feel like that's also why it's also interesting with the pigs, because it's like they're so much a part of the land, you can't not care about them. And it's like, while I don't necessarily want them on the homestead, I also don't want them to come to the homestead and get sick or leave or be hurt. The only people who can get sick, and I don't care, are the rats, to be frank. Everybody else, so I care. And so I have embraced natural products and just operating with care as I buy and use chemicals. Like I think another way I talked about, like I used to be a bleach girl, okay? I'm from a family that is bleach forward, bleach positive, and I'm not like that anymore because it breaks down so much, and there's so many healthy things a part of the ecosystem that the bleach would kill. So embracing natural products for cleaning as well as my body.
Amazing. So the next thing that I would share that I wish I knew is how active these active volcanoes are. So the first time a volcano erupted or was had a I guess what do they call them, episodes. Once the first time a volcano had an episodes after we moved to Hawaii, we were at a restaurant and it was like on the big TVs, like sports, and I was like, wow, it's a big deal, you know, it's one of the volcanoes, Kilauea, is having an episode. But then I saw like pretty much every week there's an episode. So be mindful, you know, that these active volcanoes are very active, and which is cool. It's exciting. It's something that brings the islands together. It's something that brings pride. There's an amazing goddess who is very respected called Pele, that is tied with the volcanoes, and it's a great way to tap into the culture of volcanoes here. But I just wasn't expecting them to be spewing lava every week. That's it.
So mine would be embracing the chill and the island vibes. So like I mentioned before, island vibes I feel like here are even deeper than in Thailand. And they also extend so much where it's like you can't be rude and angry here. You can't be they call it mainland energy. You know what I mean? And like any type of like, oh, I'm on this time schedule and da 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 da, and the run, and like, you know, just thinking that you get to run things and that you get to prioritize when things happen. That doesn't work. It's all about flow, you know. Also, it's like making sure you are being chill and being nice to people. Nobody wants to be around somebody who's got irritated energy or any like you can't talk or you're distracted, you need to hurry up. That just doesn't flow. Honking the horn, aggressive driving, being mean, like so many things from old life just don't work here because the people are happier, they're nicer, they're kinder. So you stick out like a sore thumb being an angry a-hole. You know what I mean? Everybody's here is properly beached, properly aired, you know, properly flowed. The energy is just good typically. People are typically just kinder and in a better mood. So you really stand out not being chill. You stand out showing up like you don't have a minute to talk to your neighbor, express any aloha, somebody who's expressing aloha to you. Like it just really stands out. So you can't come here and be you know what. You got to come here and know how to act, right? Respect people, respect everybody, and operate with aloha.
Aloha.
Sending aloha.
Yeah, so I guess my second to last thing that I wish I knew before moving to Hawaii is how popular reggae and stoner music are. So for context, like my first job outside of like a campus job was at a Jamaican restaurant, and all they played was Bob Marley the Legend album on repeat. And then in college and high school, I was super into Sublime, Slightly Stupid, 311. You know, just, you know, Pandora sent me down the reggae stoner music rabbit hole, and they're some of my favorite bands. So once I saw on like multiple Hawaiian radio stations, they are playing literally reggae stoner music. It's not like all Bob Marley. It's a lot of like stoner bands, California bands like Sublime, like Slightly Stupid. There's one you told, Iration is one you told me. Shout out to Kaloe Kai. Shout out to Licky Jordy. Yeah. Like, you know, it's just
all our new favorites, Wavy.
Big Wavy, yes. It's like such vibes, and they're on the radio, so we actually could use the radio to make these amazing playlist. Shout out to Jay Snow. She has a great reggae playlist out there.
I'm gonna attach it to this video.
Yeah, for sure. And it was just like I felt so seen. I remember there was a moment where the radio was announcing that Long Beach Dub All Stars was coming and to Hawaii, and I was just like so shocked because I'm like, I've literally never even heard anyone say Long Beach Dub All Stars, which if you don't know, they're the remnants of Sublime. And I'm just like, wow, I really am in the right place if this is the music that people are vibing to. So cool.
Yeah, no, the music is excellent. I've been enjoying it thoroughly. I would say the last thing is inter-island travel is not as easy as I thought it would be. So I definitely watched a video yesterday that was like to get from one island to another island can be like 30 hours and by ferry, and that's why they just use the plane, because it typically is like an hour between islands as opposed to 30 hours on a boat, and also how rough the waters are around the islands. So I really did think it was going to be kind of like island hopping. You know, I feel like coming from Thailand, I'm like, maybe there's like a long tail boat kind of thing. There is not that. The water is much too rough. So when you do inter-island travel planning and stuff, go ahead and be prepared. It's a flight, and just to make your life easier, it's a flight. It's a flight to get from island to island. And obviously, I don't think we landed in Honolulu, but we didn't spend any time there. That was more so for making sure our pet arrived safely and got, through that whole system, which is tedious. But so we still have some inter-island traveling to do and look forward to. But it's definitely not hopping a ferry boat and now we're in Oahu, you know what I mean? So it's not as close as you would think it was. The islands are actually very separate.
For sure. Shout out to our PP Island videos in Thailand. So my last one is definitely the ocean wave currents are strong. Like swim at your own risk. Like
it says that everywhere too.
It does. People here wear flippers. They're very advanced swimmers, and have always been an adventurous swimmer. I know it drives Jay Snow crazy. There's no ocean I'm scared of. I've almost drowned countless times, and I just love the water. I love getting in, and it's very YOLO. It's very based on vibes. But there was definitely, Jay Snow was fine, but there was definitely a time where I absolutely had to call the lifeguard in to save me. I did have a flotation device, and I was floating, and I couldn't swim back. Like I've never said that I'm the strongest swimmer. With a flotation device, I always feel secure. But the Hawaiian currents are incredibly strong. Shout out to safebeachday.com. It tells you like when is a good time to swim. Shout out to Jay Snow. She has great rules of thumb. Like, look where other people are swimming.
Oh, that's a good video to make.
Yeah, look where other people are swimming. Just be mindful. And I think I just love the water so much. I get so excited. I just be throwing myself out there, which don't do that when you're married. Like, that's like into sitting, having a motorcycle. You're really putting your partner through a lot. But in some ways grateful that I did almost drown, because now I can just say I've done everything I need to do in the ocean, and I'm happy to stay by the shore. I've done enough water activities and stuff like that. Hawaiian beaches are not to be played with. So
that current is serious. Okay, that current is serious, because while I was able to swim back that time she was talking about, like, it was like I needed to like chuck that flotation device. I needed to go underwater where I could not be fighting that top layer of current. I don't even know what it's called, but I was just like, if I can get underwater a little bit, I can really I had to use my whole body, a full body swim to get out of that current. And then I couldn't leave either way though, because I couldn't leave my sweet, beautiful Addie floating in the ocean. So yeah, you must take seriously the current, and the water is different. This is my first time experiencing this Pacific. I've only, we're from the East Coast, so I've done the Atlantic. And I feel like when we went to Thailand, I definitely thought Andaman, which is that Indian Ocean?
It's the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, I definitely thought the Indian Ocean was a little bit rougher, but the Pacific is a whole new kind of girl. So definitely get acquainted with the water before you excitedly jump in. And no shame, because I've definitely done that. I've destroyed a couple iPhones doing that. I used to be a habitual in my chest, and I'm like, yay, water! Run into the pool, destroyed. So
yeah. One more thing. Notice we said currents, because don't be fooled by if the waves aren't huge, like, and I
Yeah.
feel like that was my judgment.
Mhm.
It's like, well, the waves are very, they're very manageable. I don't feel like there's any risk in going further out, but it's the currents. It's what you can't see.
Yep.
And you can't guess that. So if you are gonna be free, wear flippers.
That's what the
fins,
lifeguard said when
yeah.
he saved us. He was like, you guys don't have any fins?
fins,
And we
yeah.
were like, obviously not.
Yes, and if you only see surfers out there, it's a sign that
Yes,
you do not
need
need
to
to
be-
be playing around in the water.
All right, I think that's it for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if you have any questions or anything else you want to know about, and we will see you next time. Jay Snow, I hope you enjoyed this content that I created. I put my heart and my passion into every video, every short, everything that I create and share with you guys. And it would really mean a lot to me if you could like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe and let me know anything that you want to see, want to know more about, Q&As, all of it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you catch my daily live stream, and I will see you there. All the love. #SnowGang. Subscribe.